Hey everybody. Oh, I got a couple things to say before it starts. Just made a little list here. Uh, I'm probably only going to do three more videos. It'll be this one, about a 12-hour video compiling some of my best uh, material, and the third one, releasing thousands of my pictures that are truly incredible that most people have never seen. The reason why, there's several reasons why. Um, One is, you know, different reasons. Uh, MacBook has changed their settings where doing things from like a 32-bit to a 64, they changed their whole format for different things, and Mac is not compatible with it. It's just such a pain in the butt. It's really hard to explain. Some people may understand what I'm talking about. Not only the camera, um, besides the computer, the time I put into this, which I'll explain in a minute, and then just the expenses that I've put into this. You know, I've put endless time over the past 6 years. I've devoted myself to this, and it seems like, you know, I know a lot of people appreciate it, but I do this only for one reason. I do it for you guys. Uh, and I know it's woken up, changed the spectrum. It's it's some subscribers that are subscribed to my channel and these channels. I've been showing you tangible self. For some reason, I don't know what it is. They will believe anything. I mean, anything, and they'll believe two different things that are totally contradict each other. Uh, so, you know, that's just part of it. But what I think I'm going to do is, after I put these three videos out, I think I have a second channel. It's on Hangman 1128, but it's got I think something, but I think I'm going to do some work on that channel, exposing the lies to the truth, because they believe they're so trustworthy, and the stuff they put out seems really legit, but it's not, because I will show you what I mean in these videos if I do it. You know, I can use a comparison like this. So if some people don't understand how the world works with the lies and the deceptions that run so deep, they're just not going to understand this. So as an example, you got like the biblical cosmology, the flat Earth and the creation. Okay, well, what we see and what we feel and what we experience is totally different than what NASA, the History Channel, Discovery Channel, the millions of years, everything, the evolution, the Big Bang, all that stuff is to discredit the truth. Okay. Uh, so like the sun, for example. Okay, they say the sun is 93 million miles away. It's 400 times. That, along with all the stuff that NASA and this History Channel, Discovery Channel, all that channels, the educational institutions. It's all programmed to hide the truth and to support the big bank. So I guess what I'm getting at is it's easy to fool people with the knowledge to put things along with it that looks like it supports it, but it's false. Okay, the same way NASA does it, and a lot of the stuff they put out is all fake. It's unreal, but to a lot of people it looks real. But anyway, that's part of the reason. It's very discouraging. I put, and there's so many people that I can tell by the analytics of my videos that not very many people watch videos, and I do this for work. But people are missing so much, and I know there's people who watch anyway. I'll put some examples in here of the sun, for example, showing that it's a close local sun, not some 500 times larger than the Earth. They reverse everything. If you look at a picture of the Earth and the sun, they'll have the Earth this big and the sun this big. It's opposite, okay? Anyway, the video I'm going to do today, I'm revisiting the periodic table, the mica and the gold, okay? I'm going to dramatically, and you can apply this to everything from the periodic table is a product of the biblical trees. This is so large and so complex, it's hard to explain it and show it to you, especially when you have other channels that are like poison. They'll tell you something different that supports millions of years and ridiculous beliefs. And everything from the periodic table, it comes from hard rock mining, okay? You look at all the hard rock mining they do, it's all tree remain, all of it, okay? And they say it's deposited. I've covered this before. You can go way down into the earth to the tallest mountains, the Himalayas, the Alps, Mount Everest. It's the same thing. But they say it was deposited. Where did all these minerals and metals, elements come from that are span all across this earth? The lies they tell from the core of the earth, most of it is all, they say, came from volcanic activity, okay? This is so complex, it's hard for me to show you everything. And I hope I've shown you enough over the years that you understand this. And you got to remember the size of the trees, the branches. They were so large. You have miles wide tree remains, and they could be in the form of a butte, a mesa, a plateau. They could be in a form of a jagged mountain range. You look over at Switzerland, the Tetons, and all these places. If a person cannot, so the first couple things I'm going to show you is not have anything to do with what I got behind this camera on the table. It's just a reminder of some of the things for you to remember and take into account. Okay, so hold on a moment. Okay, so I showed you the arrowheads and I told you where they come from, okay? And this is a different camera. I had to buy a cheap camera. So hopefully this will show up. I'll try to add pictures in when of all this here that I'm going to show you. I'll try to add some pictures in here if I can get some pictures with this camera. Anyway, the arrowheads, okay, they all come from the tree, okay? They call it flint, okay? They have names for all this stuff, but it's where they say it comes from is the lie. It's all just different tree remains. This is from the inside of a tree, okay? And they whittle it out of it. They call it flint, but it's tree remain, just like here. Just like here, okay? All of this, it's all from the inside of a tree, and this is where you get the arrowheads from, okay? So let's go right over here real quick, okay? So hold on a moment. So these are some mudstones that I wanted to show you, okay? Just out of spite, if you know, you know. So if you look at this here, someone's going to tell you that this is a hair follicle, and this is where the hair came. Part of this is missing. It's just a mudstone. Okay, and there's always like an inner part to the mudstone, kind of like this, or like this. Okay, it's just the way the mudstones do. But someone will tell you that this is a hair follicle from a creature or a giant, and this is where the hair came out. Okay, if you know, you know. Okay, I'm not going to get into it. That's just kind of the deception stuff I've been talking about. I think I need to expose it so people can really dig deeper into the truth and not be deceived. Okay, so I want you to see these. These are mudstones, okay? So this is unrelated to what I'm going to show you, but these are mudstones. Some are still like hard mud, and some are petrified, okay? But these, you can go down to the river and find these, okay? These are just mud that rolled up and created this, okay? It may start off with something rolling and getting the mud around it, but this is hard as a rock, and it doesn't take very long for this mud to petrify in the river or in the mud. And then I found one that was larger, and you know, some people may say that this is a bone from a you know you could make up any believable story and tell somebody what this is, a piece of a vertebrae or something, okay? What I'm showing you is just a mudstone that's petrified, the same as this, all of this, and they have like a shell on them, okay? It's just the way the mudstones are. But somebody will tell you it's something different because they're believable. If you don't know, somebody can make you believe anything. But my point of showing you this really is that it doesn't take long for the petrification to occur, okay? These in all kinds of different progressions, from soft, where you could just bust them or smash them, to pieces like this that are hard, and then pieces that are just petrified. It's just mudstone. That's all it is. All of this is mud. You know, somebody would tell you that's part of a bone, okay? And this is like the skin around it, okay? It's not, okay? But if you don't know any better, you'll believe anything, okay? I could tell you this is part of a bone and this is the skin around it, okay? It's not true, okay? There's so many deceptions like that that are being told on a macro giant scale, okay? They'll tell you this is skin. They'll tell you that this is part of a giant hair follicle and this is where the hair came out. It's not. There's always something in the mudstone.
Okay, there was something in this one, but it fell out. Anyway, so I'm going to leave that at that. So let me go over here real quick. I hope that kind of gives you an understanding what I'm talking about, the deceptions. If you don't know, it's easy to be deceived, especially if the person's a deceiver, okay? So I'm showing you this right here, okay? And I'm just showing you this stuff just kind of as a reminder, because I'm not just going to keep showing you. I just kind of done with my videos, but I want you to remember some of this because it's important. You see that piece there, how it's got the flat edges, and it's just colored, okay? It's not the color of petrified wood like this, like that, like this piece, okay? It's been high heated and it's taken the color away from it. The same with this. This used to be wood right here, but something did this to it and took the color away from it, okay? And I told you, this is the sap that was in it. So this piece right here, I always say like one of them small pieces. Okay, something similar to this. This right here with the two flat edges would be something similar to that. Okay, and this is the sap inside that crystallized into quartz crystal. These can be different sizes. They could be large. It does this, okay? It'll be solid like this. It just depends on the environment and what occurred. This here used to be like this, but it was high heated. This is the limestone. I covered this before, and it kind of melted it down and discolored it. Different trees, different environments, different processes of what happened. Okay, remember, when I always say them small pieces, this is what I'm talking about, the way the tree broke down. In all my videos that I've shown, that when I'm walking along through all the places, that it's literally 100-mile radius. It's that large of an area. So you won't see this part right here. The only part you see is the top. All this is buried upon another branch and another branch and another branch, like pickup sticks. And then you have a thin layer of vegetation that covers it all, and the only thing that's left is what's exposed. I've showed you these as large as a building, even larger, just single pieces like this that are slowly doing this. And they were like walking on the top of it, one after another. They could run this way, that way, wherever. The gaps that I walk, the feet. You know, the gaps. Okay, I'm showing you through my videos. That's why if you don't understand what I'm saying, people don't watch all my videos, or they don't watch a small portion of them. If you went back and watched from the beginning to the end, you'll really be knowledgeable, and it's good for the soul, and you'll be like a child again when you go out and go on your hikes, your adventures. I don't care if you go to the bank or the school, you'll see the tree remains everywhere. You know, I remember they roll in a river too, and they become round and not recognizable. You know, they could be small little pebbles or larger stones that they use to divert water and stuff. Okay. While I'm here, I just wanted to mention, like, this is the limestone right here. And what's crazy, and this is part of the cedar tree root system. What's crazy about it is you put a black light on it. I purchased a black light, and it's incredible what this looks like. Not all rocks are luminescent, but the cedar tree root system is luminescent. It's incredible. I got two different types of black lights, and they show two different types of. Anyway, I don't know if I'll be able to put some pictures in or not, because my computer is like, it doesn't recognize the format or whatever. So that's part of the reason why, you know, I just can't go out and purchase new equipment at the moment. It's just very discouraging. Anyway, see, these were just pockets of sap right here. And I know that don't look like petrified tree, but I'm telling you it is. Just on a side note, my old girl here, she's got, I think, a tumor on her spine, and she's not doing real well. Ruby, come here, girl. Yeah, she gets paralysis in her limbs like a couple times a day, to where she just goes totally paralyzed. And I don't know if she's panting now because she's hot, or if she's in pain. But I got a couple things for her for pain management. But you'll see the way she walks, and she always pulls to the right. And she's walking really good now. But she usually lifts her legs up high. Let me pause this a minute so I can let her in. She usually doesn't do that. Just like like you see a dog, you put booties on a dog and how they try to walk. That's how she is, or she'll go down and just lose total feeling on one side, like she goes paralyzed. Anyway, back to the video. So like this piece and that piece were one of the same. These are small pieces compared to what they came from. Okay. And as for the deception, again, I'm going to show this one more time, that somebody may tell you that this is part of skin. Okay. And this is whatever name, the interstitium, or whatever words they use. Okay. I'm telling you, I am almost to the point to where I need to start a channel that exposes this from the truth, because I can show you the truth from the lies. So I gotta ponder on that. So anyway, we're gonna go here real quick, okay? So let me pause it real quick. Hold on. Okay, I had to restart this camera. So what I'm going to show you here is really not in any particular order, but it's all it all goes together. So you just gotta kind of retain the memory of what I show you and what I say, okay? Because some pretty educational stuff here. Okay, so we'll just start right here. So if you see this piece right here, it has like a gold tint. This one has a silver tint. Why, I couldn't tell you. These are both pieces of petrified wood. It's not what people are used to recognizing petrified wood as, but this piece right here would be similar to something like this. Okay, I just put this here just to show the difference between whatever was in the tree. Okay, you have different kind of trees, different things happen with them because of different environments or different process from different trees. Okay, I'll show you this one here. Okay, and you see here, you see all these rings here. I don't know how well you'll be able to see them. Okay, so let's move on over here. So you look at this piece of bark right here, okay? It's just a random piece of bark. So bark, remember, there was different kind of trees, okay? Plants, shrubs, bushes, vegetation, tropical, and even aquatic, like ocean, underwater. So this piece of bark here, petrified, same as this, okay? This is part of the tree. And I'm gonna, as I go down, I'll show you more, okay? This all ties together, but I can only show you one thing at a time. Unfortunately, this piece broke in half, and it's kind of discouraging. But anyway, so this is a petrified piece of bark, okay? Different environment, different kind of tree than this one right here. This is cedar right here. I couldn't tell you what this one's from. Okay? So this is really an important thing to understand, okay? So you see right here, let me show you this first. So this is just a piece of wood, okay? And you know, they got fibers and rings. They got knots and twists and turns, okay? This just happens to be a piece of straight grain, okay? Just like this piece of petrified wood right here. Okay? It's just a small piece. So so something like this, they could be cut or it breaks naturally, okay? Something similar to this, okay? You see this piece right here. And you see these fibers, kind of like striations, okay? Just remember that. But this piece right here would be similar to this or this, okay? It's the same thing. This happens naturally, you know, the way the tree breaks down and splits, okay? Or it could happen in today's world the way you have a cut that didn't go all the way through. Okay, so just remember that. Okay, so let me go back over here and show you, okay? So you see this piece right here. This is feldspar, okay? This is feldspar. All this stuff is feldspar right here. Feldspar. Feldspar, I'm going to tell you what feldspar really is, okay? So you see here, I'm going to show you that I have a video on the mica, okay, on the periodic table. If you haven't seen it, you should go back and watch it. If you have, you're going to understand more, okay? So you see here, I'm showing you this right here, okay? I'm showing you this. Showing you this is this side of the pieces right here, like ocean. They're so innocent compared to what they came from, okay? So this is part of the bark right here, the mica, okay? I'll show you other examples here in a minute, but I want to tell you what the feldspar is, okay? So you see here, this is part of the tree. And this was one's bark, the mica that you see right here, okay? Okay? So let me tell you, so this feldspar, I'm going to tell you what it is. You got to understand the dynamics of a tree. For example, you have different layers of the tree as it goes into the center core. Okay, and you see that all these pieces right here, what's kind of odd is, see that center piece? I know that's not the center, but that's the center of this branch. The rings are smaller here and they're bigger out here. So let me pause it a minute and I'll show you a couple of different examples. Okay, here's a couple trees right here, and these are the branches, okay? You see here's the main part of the tree, and you see it always has that center core. Has a center core. Okay, let's look at these. You see it has the center, this is the branch, has a center core. Has a center core, okay? This one's pretty much close to being in the center, so all the rings would be pretty much the same. Same with this. This one's offset a little bit, okay? So let's go back over here. Back to it, I'll show you this one here. Okay, let me get back. I'll show you. This is just a cool piece of wood that I put here. So you see here, it's the center. There's the piece. Come over here. You see the piece. Okay, they're in all of them. This one here has one, a little tiny one. But you see the center of this branch is right here. These rings on this side are really tight and small. These ones are larger, but that's the center. I know it's kind of an oxymoron, an offset center. But what I'm getting at is, you see this like layer right here, okay? This is small. On these trees that were miles wide, or the branches that were hundreds or thousands of feet in diameter, this layer here is the cambium layer. It's underneath the bark, okay? And it's what helps the tree get all the nutrients it needs from the ground and take it up to the leaves and the branches. And then the cambium layer will also help replenish the bark if it gets, as the tree starts growing or gets damaged, okay? This is all just the same color, but the cambium layer is attached underneath the outer bark. Okay, it's called the cambium layer. So you come over here, and I'll show you that this is the bark. This is just a little tiny piece that's left, but this bark was probably feet thick, feet upon feet, and the cambium layer was probably feet upon feet thick. And then it goes into different sections of the tree. And remember, the trees have knots and twists and turns and burls and all kinds of stuff. But this right here is part of the cambium layer. Okay, it's part of the feldspar is the cambium layer of the tree. Okay, and if you look here, all of this is the feldspar. This is part of the bark. Okay, this is all right here. I'll show you different examples. But I've shown this in great detail in my face, so I'm not going to get into it a lot here. You see here, this is just all part of the bark. Just small, tiny pieces, like a grain of sand in the whole ocean. And I can only show you small pieces. But this is all feldspar, and it's part of the cambium layer of the tree. Okay, this is all bark. You see that right there? Okay, let's see if that'll stand up. Okay, you'll see it's all the same. Okay, that's really important to understand. Feldspar is a cambium in these science entities that to support their Big Bang creation. I'll tell you that most of this stuff was created from magma or the result of something volcanic. Okay, it's a lie. They do that. They'll tell you a little bit of truth, and they'll create a lie that supports that truth that looks believable. Okay, what I was this is part of the bark. Different tree, different type of petrification process, different environment. Okay, I want you to just look at this one more time, and then we're going to move on. Okay, show you this. This is all just part of the tree. It's part of the bark. Okay, that there is mica, but it was part of the bark. Okay, I hope that's showing you enough. The feldspar is the cambium layer of the biblical trees. Okay, so we're going to move on over here to some different stuff. Okay, so to expand your mind a little bit here. Okay, I'm going to try to paint a picture. So if you could imagine, say, a branch. Okay, this piece is petrified right here, laid like that sideways. Okay, let me get a different example. Say this branch was laid sideways like this. Okay, or it was like this. Okay, but this branch is hundreds of or thousands of feet in diameter, so it's massive. It's not small like this, okay? And you see all these layers in here, okay? I want you to look at this. So let me show you this. So for example, you see this piece right here, okay? So I think I don't know if my computer's going to allow me to do it. That's why this has become more difficult. So this piece of wood right here that's not petrified is just the same as this. So I got this whole hillside, okay, that's part of a branch, okay? And it looks something, this is a tiny small version of it. It looks something like this. Okay, the white part you see down below, right here, is the same as this, and the same as this right here. Okay, this is all wood, but it's like a crystalline. It's like celery. Okay, just like this. It's kind of like celery, but it's petrified. And then whatever was in the tree, that's discolored. This is from a cedar tree. And I'm telling you, the whole mountainside, I mean, the whole hillside is a branch laid down, either long ways or the end. And the way it breaks down over time, so you could imagine this being a branch laid sideways, but massive, hundreds of thousands of feet across from here to here, and then however long the branch was. Okay, and then in these layers right here, you have this. I'll show you a picture. These are all laid in here like this, like layers, like this, one after another. Okay, this is all cedar. It's just all part of the tree. And then this white stuff you see in here, this is so small compared to the size. This white stuff in here, when you look at this, the end of it with a microscope or a loop, it's got striations like celery, like this. It's just like this, but you don't see tips of it. Okay, so I want you to understand that. Okay, that could be a branch laid on its side like this, or it could be laid one like this, the end. Okay, and you see how the end is. Okay, you see them pieces in there like it's been broken off. See all the way the branch is. Okay, the same as, let me give you a different example. Same as like this, or like this. Okay, there's so many different ways it could be. Okay, like this. It could be laid sideways, different directions, but this is what you see. And all this right here is the same as this right here. It's all part of the tree. This is a different kind of bark and or wood. Mica is the bark and the wood some of the wood did different things also that looks like mica, okay? I have a lot more to show you. You've got to keep a lot of this in mind. But this right here was part of a massive branch. This is like a grain of sand in the whole ocean. If you see under here, this part where my thumb is no different than this. Okay? This right here, these are just like that. It's one of the same. How the branch was laid down, whether it was the end or the side, I don't know. You know, they're so large, you just don't know. Okay? Just like you could imagine this right here, if it had the jagged edges, it would be like that. The top of this would be like this. But this is a different kind of wood, different environment, something else happened, different kind of tree. Different things in the tree process in different ways, okay? So you'll see that this and mica have a lot in common. And I've showed you that the mica is the bark. The mica is the bark. The feldspar, you'll see the same striations in it, just like the wood. Because bark and the tree, all throughout the tree, from the bark all the way in, have rings. Bark also has what I would call rings. This is part of the tree. The bark turned to mica, and then you see like all these silver and gold flakes throughout things. It's just pieces that leach through. That's all it is. So you come back over here. Okay, we're going to kind of work our way around the table. Okay, this piece right here could have been something laying like that. Okay, let me show you. So this piece right here could have been so massive in size, and then you got the different layers of the tree, and you got sap or whatever was in the tree, like leaching down, leaching out. Different things occurred. You know, it's hard telling, but I'm showing. My main point is to show you what it really is. You see here. So this is all cedar. Anytime you see this reddish, pinkish, orangish stuff, it's cedar. You look at all. If you're not familiar with it, you can look at it. You could look, just for example, all the stuff in like Garden of the Gods, the Manitou Cliff Dwellings, the Flatirons in Boulder, Colorado, Red Rocks, Colorado. All that stuff is cedar remains, and it's all across this earth. This here is a piece of cedar, okay? I know it don't look like wood, but it's been heated. This piece right here is no different than this piece of cedar. This is more in the raw form. This hasn't been molested by weather or elements. This is cedar. This is the same thing as this. Same exact thing, but it's just a different process occurred to it. This is cedar, just like this. Okay. This could have got a lot of moisture and water and deteriorated different over time, but it could have laid like this. This thickness right here could have been hundreds of feet thick. Okay. Or like I say, it could have been the end of a branch like this. So the radius where my thumb is not going to be like that. It's so large, it's going to seem, the radius is going to be so minor. Okay. So I want to show you this just one more time, and then we'll move on. You see here, this is all part of the cedar. Let me turn it over. And you'll see that this stuff on the bottom of here, that white stuff you see, it's got that crystal type look to it. This is the same thing. All this stuff you see in here, this is such a small scale, is the same as this. And then you tip it up, you'll see what it is. It's all just part of the tree. Okay? Just small parts of the tree. Whether it's part of the bark and or the wood, I don't know. I think it's a little of both. Okay, let's move on from that. Okay. So you see right here, this is a piece of mica. Okay. Let me try to stand that up. So you see on bark, let me see. There's all kinds of different. You imagine this piece where my thumb is being inches or feet thick. Okay, probably feet thick. And this is just all part of the bark. The bark. Okay, I'm going to show you. I've shown you in my last mica video, but I'll show you that this is all wood. Okay, this right here that's in my hand is no different than this. It's no different than this. It's just a bigger chunk. That's all it is. If you were to take one of these pieces off of here, it's a smaller piece than this, and they come much larger than this. Okay. So you imagine here, so like I say, there's different progressions through the process. So this piece right here, say this piece of mica was the finish process, fully baked pie, so to speak. But you have these pieces here that are from a different tree, or it didn't finish the process. Let me just show you these pieces. Okay, this here could have been a piece of mica just like that, but it didn't finish the process, or it's from a different kind of tree that didn't have whatever in it to create this. Okay, the same as this. This could have been a piece of mica easily, but it didn't finish the process, was in a different type of environment, or was a different tree. Okay, just like this. This could have been a piece of mica easily. And you see here, okay, I'll show you this. This is wood, but it didn't fully form to mica. Like I say, a different tree or different process occurred that didn't fully finish to create the mica. Okay, same as this. Okay, you see here, this is wood right there, but it turned to mica. Okay, the piece right here is no different than this. But like I say, it could have been a different tree or a different process that didn't complete. When I get onto here, I showed you this stuff. These are just some pieces. But like I say, when you look at this striation right here, let me find it. Hold on a minute. Okay, I found it. So when you look, this stuff here, that's the same as this or this, and it's the same as this. When you look at this close, you'll see, okay, you'll see the fibers of the wood, just like you would here. See them, that fiber? That's how you get like the crystalline structure. And they have all kinds of things that look alike. They have different names for them, like in mineral and crystal books. All in the tree. Nothing was deposited. Okay, I wish people could completely comprehend that. You see that right there? That's no different than that. Okay, I have a whole bunch of this. So, it could have been something like this that's laid down. Could have been something like this. So now as we move on, I just want to show you these few pieces here as we move around. This is all wood. But whatever process occurred, it turned to mica. They'll tell you this is volcanic, due to volcanic activity. This is a natural form. This was never through a fire, never through a volcanic magma. This never seen any type of catastrophic event. This just naturally occurred this way. But this is wood. Okay. So let me move over here. And I'll show you other examples over there. So you see this piece right here, this is wood. But you see it's mica. And they lie to you and tell you how this came about, just like every other mineral and metal. But you see when they, and like they'll say, okay, this mica, it has potassium and zinc in it or whatever, okay? It was all a product of the tree. Nothing, zinc and potassium was not put into there. It was in the tree. So I want to show you something here. So this is, we'll get more into this over there. But you see this little piece of, this is bark that's not petrified. And like I say, I can only show you small examples. This is part of the sap, and you see part of the bark. Okay, I didn't make this, it's just the way it is. So something like that is very similar to something like this. Something like this, it has the sap, the quartz integrated with the wood, which is the bark. Okay, this piece right here is no different than this little piece right here. Look at this close. Okay. And look at this. It's the exact same thing, but this is from a cedar tree. Okay. This more part of all the pieces you see in there like that, okay? Let me go over here. Like you have all these pieces here, okay? So I don't know if you ever seen a tree, like when it gets injured, the sap goes to it. Or you see fat wood and cedar tree roots. Or the base of the tree, it's called fat wood. Okay, the same thing occurred. This stuff was pliable, liquid at one time, but these are just pieces of bark that turn to mica inside the sap. Okay? It's just like this. You have pieces of the sap and you have bark integrated into it. Okay? So let's go over here. Actually going to have to pause it here and start again because my time limit on this video about done. So hold on. Okay, again. So you have, like, if you look in this piece here, okay, this is part of the wood right here. See in there, so you see this piece right here, okay? It's some kind of crystalline. They got names for, different name for every little tiny thing. Okay, this piece right here is no different than this piece or what you see inside this piece of petrified wood. This crystal-y stuff right here is no different than that. It just didn't complete the whole thing like this. These pieces here, you see the crystalline structure in them. Just like here, okay? These are pieces of wood. This is coal. It does the same thing. But this is not hard like rock like this. It's coal. Okay? It's brittle, it'll break up. But this right here in my hand is no different than this piece of petrified wood. It's just different environment, different conditions. Okay, same, but different environment, different process, different trees. Same with this and this. This piece right here is different than that or the coal. Okay, the coal is part of the wood too. You know, the coal seam, it's just part of a branch that's laid down. Okay, so I'll show you the mica here, okay? You see this is mica. This is wood, okay? This piece finished the full process, or it was a different tree that turned to mica, okay? And you see here, this is a different piece of wood, petrified. This could have very easily turned to mica, but it could have been a different tree, or the full process didn't happen, okay? The same thing here. You see this is the sap, and this is the petrified wood. And you see this piece right here could have easily turned to mica. This is a piece of wood that's not petrified. Okay, they're one and the same, except one's petrified and one's not. as this. It's just went through a different process. Okay, just like this. All these different layers in here. There's so many of them, and it would have turned into all the different pieces of flake that you see in the mica. You know, let me see if I get a piece off. I really don't want to destroy that piece, but we'll go with this piece. So you see this. This is all mica. It's all part of the wood. All of it, okay? So I want you to pay attention here. So this is a piece of petrified wood, okay? You see this, the rings or the fibers in it, okay? Whether it's in the bark or the wood, they're very similar, okay? Okay? Just like this, it's very similar. You see the bark here, okay? This is part of the cambium layer of the. You see here, this is feldspar, and you see close in here what you see right here is where it attached, say, to the outside of the cambium layer, kind of like this. Okay, you see this here? See where the bark attached to the outside of the cambium layer? This would be the same thing. Okay, and it's the same as this. It's just the bark that's attached to the cambium layer. Same as this. This is all mica in there. But you see, it's part of the wood that turned to mica. All of this. Okay? Look at this piece here. It's really beautiful. Okay, this is just all part of the bark, like a cluster. It's just all part of a cluster of the bark. Okay, this piece here would be similar to this. This is a piece of bark. Okay, you see this is running up this way, that's running this way. You got the quartz or the petrified sap. Okay, it's just kind of one of the same, just different process. This is just bark from today, from a cedar tree. Not a cedar tree, I think it's a pine tree, I'm not sure. But you see all the sap on it. Okay, we just remember this because I'll show you more down here. Okay, this is wood. You'll see this everywhere like this. Whether you see the mica or not, you'll see the side of a mountain or the side of a hill or rocks that look just like this right here. It's just all part of the rings of the tree, whether it's part of the wood or part of the bark. Okay. So you come over here. This is just a mushroom or one of them fungus that grow on the tree, but I want to show you the bark right here, okay? You see the bark? This is a piece of the mica, and you'll see it's one of the same, okay? This is the bark, just like this. It's just a little tiny chunk. This right here in my hand is no different than this right here. It's just a different size. Okay? I want you to look at this. It's one of the same. And it ain't that just because it looks alike. I'm just showing you that it's the same. This is from the biblical trees. This is from today's tree. But if you ever seen the bark on, say, like a big old oak tree, the bark, let me see here, the in between, the lower part, like hills and valleys, is like so thick on some of them, like 6 inches thick. You could imagine on some of these trees, if they laid down, they would create hills and valleys. Yeah, it's just so deep. You see this here, okay? Look at this. So hold on. This is one of the same. Okay. So now we're getting close to being done. Remember, I showed you this could have been bark easily, or mica. Okay, so you come over here. So all we got to do is just get through right here and right here. So you come right here, and I've already shown you here how the wood is, just like this. Showing you that. I don't want to repeat myself, but just want to show you how the trees are like fibers. That crystalline structure would be the same as this. Okay, this is just a tiny, tiny piece. It could be feet thick. You see here, you got some of the tree. This is mica. You got some of the tree mixed up with the cambium layer, which is the feldspar, and some of the quartz in it. So I've already went over this video, so I'm just going to briefly just cover it. So I've shown you in my, I'm not going to cover this a whole lot, but I've shown you in my first mica video how this is a piece of sap that I got off of a tree. And you see all the bark pieces in it, okay? That would be the mica, okay? Similar to this piece right here. And all this sap would be the quartz that's in this piece. And all the mica you see would be like all the little pieces of bark throughout this piece of sap right here that's still soft. Some of it's starting to crystallize. It's one of the same. This right here, you'll see this area right here, that would be similar to, God, man, let me see. Let me see. You know, you see how you got all this stuff right here? Okay, that was all crystal. Similar to this, okay? This stuff you see in here is the same as this. Okay? You come over here. Here's part of the bark from a tree. I got it off a tree. And here's part of the sap that's crystallizing, which will be the quartz. And I think it's, you see that sheen on there? I think it's like the resin or whatever is in the sap, like it gets all in between the bark and stuff. I like how this, see that sheen on there? I like the same sheen. Well, where the heck did it go? Well, I don't know. It's the sheen. Okay. These pieces here, okay, these pieces here is how the mica forms. Here is a piece of sap, a ball of sap. If you were to, and they come in different sizes and shapes. If you were to look right here, I don't know how well you'll be able to get it under a loop. It's the same as this. If you bust open and cut it, like I did a piece right here, you'll see it's the same. I broke this off of here. It's just a ball of sap that crystallized and petrified. And sap. So this would be like a ball of sap, and you get the crystallize in it, just like this. This is sap, and I explained the wood, how it got different color from a heat. This is the same thing as this. It's just discolored from iron or whatever it is. This is the same as this. But you see, it just doesn't happen in the sap balls. It happens in the petrified wood. If you look in here, it's the same as this and the same as this. This is no different than this piece of petrified wood, except this is kind of discolored and this is discolored. But some of the wood remains, some of the color. Okay. I want you to look right here on these pieces of, I'm not sure if this is bark or if this is wood. But if you look at it close, let me get my loop. I don't know. If you look at it close, you'll see that it's turned to mica. The wood is turning to mica, or the bark. All of this. Okay. This here would turn to mica under the right circumstances. See this here? This is just a piece of petrified wood that's getting ready to break down into sand. But this piece right here, that's just a piece of petrified wood, is no different than this that turned to mica. This right here, this piece of wood that's petrified, is no different than this. Except this is just a piece of wood that hasn't petrified. You see here, this would turn to mica if the right conditions were there. You see that cluster right here, like that? That would be just like this. Right here, under the right conditions. Okay, so let me come over here one more time. I just want to show you this. Let me pause it a second. This may be a repeat for some people. It may be the first time showing you it, but go back and watch my first video on the periodic table and it'll explain a lot. But this piece right here, you see this was all quartz. This was also heated. But I broke this off of here. It was a ball of sap like this. You look at this under the loop, you'll see it's the same thing, but different size. You look at here, these are not petrified. But you see the bark right here, and the same thing happens with the ball of saps, and they could be hollow like this, or they could be one solid ball of sap. See, it's all the same. You look at both of these under a loop, I just cut it in half. It's the same. This is the same. This is the same. Anyway, I hopefully proved my point here and showed you guys some truth to this. So I'm going to pause it a second while I gather my thoughts and come to an end here. So I'm just going to end with this, and just remember, if I told you, if you didn't know any better, that this right here was petrified bone, and this was the skin or ligament, word people use, and this was the skin and this was the bone, you would probably believe me because you don't know any different. If I told you this was part of a hair follicle and this was where the hair came out, you'd probably believe it because you don't know any better. Some people do, a lot of people don't. Okay? I just want you to understand how easy it is to deceive somebody. Okay? So anyway, I think I'm going to end it there. It's getting kind of dark here. It looks like it's starting to storm a little bit. So I'm going to put all this stuff back in my totes. Oh, I also want to remember when I tell you about, remember the side of the bank that created these pieces, or where you find them, like this piece right here. This piece right here is the white you see in there. Okay, all this right here is no different than this. It's just the tip broke off. But I tried to show you that it could be a branch laid on its side. It could be the end of a branch that's massive, that's doing this type of fraying and fracture, or not fracturing, but splintering. Okay? Or it could be something like this. This is a piece of bark. This whole thing could be 10, 20 feet thick. I don't know how thick the bark would be on these biblical trees. But that could be some weird stuff like that. You know, it's hard telling. But being that you see this right here, like a splintered piece of wood, this is like crystalline. It's like celery. It could have been, this is a piece of bark. It could have very easily been something like this. And then the trees down below it, and you got something different down below that you can't see that's under the ground. Anyway, I'm going to leave it at that. I hope you've learned something from this video. Just remember what feldspar is. It's the cambium layer of the tree, okay? And like I said, I'm probably only going to put 2 more videos out. A video of my best finds, and a video of all my pictures I've taken, thousands of them, that'll some people may find interesting. Oh shoot, I forgot one more thing. When I tried to tell you about the progression of a finished product, like the mica being the wood, it's like there's like this piece right here. Hold on. Let me get 2 different examples here. One. I'll just get one. Okay. So you have different kinds of different progressions in different environments. So this is a piece of petrified wood. This is coal, but it's the same exact thing. Okay. That kind of progression, different environments. Okay. This. So I can't prove it, but I'm just trying to use a little logic and common sense, and from my knowledge of things that I've done in my past with mining and gold refining and so forth. So you have different progressions, okay? So I want to show you this real quick, okay? And I can't prove this to you, but it's just my belief, okay, or my thought from what I know. I'm just trying to use a little logic, okay? So let me show you something. So this right here is what they call chalcopyrite, okay? So what I'm going to get at is I'm going to tell you, I believe wholeheartedly that gold, iron pyrite, which is fooled gold, and copper are all one of the same, just a different process from the finished product. We'll say gold is, the gold was in the tree and the finished product was gold, but that don't mean everything turned to gold from what gold was. There's probably an in-between stage where you have copper or chalcopyrite. To some that may sound crazy, but in my experience, my research, and my knowledge, I really believe that regardless of what the books say, what the geologists say, I don't really care, because they're either completely brainwashed and indoctrinated, or someone don't know what they're talking about. But you have chalcopyrite. Chalcopyrite will have gold, fool's gold, and copper in it. Okay, copper ore. They say there are 3 different minerals, metals, whatever. That may be true, but I think in the big picture of it all, that they're all one of the same, okay? You look in this piece right here, okay? You see the gold in there, okay? We're going to look at a few. You see right here, you got iron pyrite, which is fool's gold, and you have gold in here, okay? I believe they are one of the same, just one didn't finish the process as much as the other. Here, you have gold, copper, and iron pyrite, which is fool's gold in it. All 3 of them. I think it was all one of the same. Okay, look at this. It has all 3 of them in it. This piece has, and it's really heavy, this has fool's gold, it has copper ore, and it has iron pyrite, copper, and gold in it, all 3 of them. What are the chances that they would all be together if they're not all one of the same? Same thing here. This piece has gold in it. It has copper. And it has fool's gold, iron pyrite. And you know, they'll form the cubes and stuff. But if you look at a lot of the other minerals, you'll see they also form a lot of the cubes. Just whatever process occurred. You come right here. See, so this has gold in it. Okay. But it also has fool's gold and copper, all three of them. So one last time, most of these pieces here have gold, iron pyrite, which is fool's gold, and copper. All the same. That's my belief. So it gives you something to think on. Okay, just a different progression in a finished product. You have pure gold, you have copper or iron pyrite fool's gold that didn't complete the process, because it's kind of funny that you find them all three together in one place. And it's always from the hard rock mining. It's always in the hard rock with the quartz. And you know what the quartz is. I've shown you that a 1,000 times over. But I hope you learned something with the feldspar, which is the cambium layer of the tree. It regenerates the bark, and it sends nutrients up to the leaves and the branches. And then the photosynthesis happens with the sun, and it's a whole process. But anyway, I'm going to end it here. I don't know when my other 2 videos will be out on my best moments, and release all my pictures so people can see them, see pictures they've never seen. And if people go back and watch my older videos, there's some really incredible stuff in there that people miss. You know, that's if you're interested and you want to see the truth. All right, guys. Well, thanks for watching.